I like her new song.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
What a wonderful day this is. Please welcome Yoshi Roberts. He's here with us this morning as our special musical guest, and John Jones and Chris Adams in the band. Good morning.
It's always a pleasure to be here with y'all. This is a brand new song. It's called Love Has Set Us Free.
Nobody seems to be listening. I got something to say, nobody seems to care. I got something for you and me that will help us see more clearly. I got something to sing from my heart. Are you listening? Your la 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 is all I'll ever need. Oh, la 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 will solve any query. La 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 love. Oh, love has set us free. Please let this be heard. It's not about the thing, no, it's all about the word. Please let this be heard. I'll spread the love we all deserve. Your la 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 is all I'll ever need. La 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 will solve any query. La 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 la. La, 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 love. Oh, love has set us free. His love has set us free. Oh, yes, love has set us free. The love has set us free. The love has set us free. Oh, la, 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 la. La la is all I'll ever need. Oh, la 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 will solve any query. And la 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 love. Oh, love has set us free. And love has set us free.
How beautiful is that? Fabulous. Please stand as we sing together once more our opening song. I am
Grateful for this day, for the love we share, the life we made. I give thanks for all the many ways that the love of God appears. I am grateful for this day, for the love we share. everybody. You may be seated. It's wet outside, but it's sunny inside. Nice to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. Spring is here. Can you feel it? You got to visualize it. Come on, people. We got to work together. We got to tell the stuff out there to get along with it. But so that means that Easter is right around the corner, only a few weeks away. We have an amazing celebration around here that I kind of think is unique. And I'm not going to tell you any more about that and leave it to somebody else to tell you about that. But here's what I'm looking for. I want to do a multicultural prayer, and I'm looking for anyone who speaks a language other than English to come and see me afterwards. Write down your name and your email contact, and I want to be in touch with you in regards to what Easter's going to look like. So there you go. And here's Mr. Language Multi-Everything himself, David Aurelia.
Good morning, everyone. Well, spring is here. I was outside yesterday. Didn't realize how hot it was. And I'm feeling it today. But it was a great day. Loved it. Welcome to the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. We are a center that recognizes everyone on their spiritual path. We hope to be a place of great inspiration, thus allowing you to tap into your inherent greatness and to live the life you love. So we do that, as Reverend David said, in so many different ways. Lots of good stuff coming up. I'll get to Easter in a second, but couple of things I want to make sure that you saw, perhaps in the newsletter this week, if you saw that in your email. Spiritual Living Institute's got 2 classes starting in April. Last week, we spotlighted Lori Palco's class, Love, Money, Purpose. And if you're a business owner and you want to start your own venture, this is the class for you. She's going to take you through there, make sure you get a business plan, and she is the person to learn from, I'll tell you that right now. But you remember Cynthia James, and she is an amazing friend of this community and has been inspiring to us for many, many years. Well, she's also doing a class in April, starting April the 1st. She did a beautiful, beautiful invitation to all of you in the website. So if you didn't see that, go back and see that video because it's amazing. But I'll let you know a little bit about what she said. Her class, it's a 4-week class, and it's called Healthy Living for Women. So it's a women's only class. And I'll let you know, she says, women all around the globe are moving into powerful states of being. They are immersed in sophisticated juggling acts, navigating family, work, friends, and self-care. Unfortunately, one of the things that usually takes a back seat is self-care. So women are so focused on taking care of others that they tend to put themselves last as a priority. This course is designed to support women in gaining clarity about how they are currently operating and how to shift into healthier lifestyle choices. If, as a woman, you find it harder to say no to others' requests and often feel guilty, if you are unable to, and if you're unable to please everyone, or if you often spend less time nurturing your own emotional and physical needs, fearing that it might be perceived as selfish, this is the course for you. She says, ladies, we're going to experience a combination of lectures, guided meditations, and personal self-discovery, and all that work will be done by yourselves. You will get real. You'll explore the boxes you may have put around yourselves, embrace your vulnerability, and get some tangible goals for radical self-care. So again, Cynthia has gotten a grant from the Obama administration to take on this initiative throughout the country. We are so thrilled she's taking this knowledge and bringing it to our community. So ladies, I encourage you all to sign up for this class. This is one you do not want to miss. So we have sign-ups today. You can also go to Spiritual Living Institute and .org and get all the information about that. Daniel's going to be out there at the table, so if you have any information or questions, he can answer those for you as well. Now, we've got one more live class that's here at the center that's going to round out our spring semester. These classes, Reverend David's 2 classes, will go into the late spring, and this class, starting on April 1st, is an abundance class with Lane Morgan. This 8-week course will give you an opportunity to learn how spiritual law applies to your experience of abundance, and each student will explore their current relationship with prosperity and spirituality. Another class we've never offered before, so I encourage you to take it. It'll just enhance and give you more opportunities of abundance in your life. So please, those are flyers out there, you can get those and any information. Lane's not here this week, but she'll be here next week, so if you have any questions, she'll be happy to answer those for you as well. Now, this coming Wednesday, I've teased it a little bit last couple weeks, Tenzin Lama Sherpa is a world-renowned monk who's going to be doing a talk called The Nature and the Healing Power of the Mind. He's going to be here this coming Wednesday at 7 p.m. He'll be doing a talk, a meditation, and if time permits, an individual blessing for you. So this is a love offering, and this gentleman is, again, so well known throughout the world. We're thrilled he's able to be here with us on Wednesday. So if you can join us, that's 7 o'clock this Wednesday in this very room. So we'll love to see you. And then also next Sunday, just a reminder, the SLCA Youth Department is sponsoring their Spring Fling. And they do this every year just to kind of make sure you see what the kids have been up to, meet the volunteers and some of the teachers. They're going to do that upstairs after the second service in the 4 to 6-year-old classroom. Mary Jane's got refreshments. She never fails on that, so I love it. So everybody will be up there for that. Michael Beckwith tickets. We've teased that a couple weeks. That's the 24th and 25th of April at Atlanta Unity. They are offering an incentive to us. If you buy your tickets through us, we get a percentage back into our community. So please get your tickets for that. The talk with he and Ricky Myers Beckwith is on Friday night, the 24th, and on the 25th they're doing a health fair. Similar to what we did last year. We'll be attending and promoting Spiritual Living Institute, so we'd love for you to join us and join a part of that celebration. So get your tickets for that. And I think Easter Sunday, we've teased that enough too. We've got a lot going on Easter Sunday. David does a great talk, always, no pressure. And we've got the Sound of Light Choir is going to be brilliantly performing for us, as well as our children's choir, as well as Latanya Shields, another favorite of ours, is going to be here all for Easter Sunday. We're also going to be doing the bonnet contest for adults and kids in between the services, and we'll also be doing kind of a fair, if you will. Like, we're going to have tables outside. All the fellowship will be outside under a huge tent, and if you've got people that aren't familiar with our community, bring them that Sunday, because all the different organizations and groups will be outside to let you know everything that we offer here at the center. So join us for a great day of fun and fellowship. Are there any visitors joining us for the very first time today? If you could raise your hands high in the sky. Stand on up so we could welcome you if you could. We have a gift for you. What you're receiving is a CD case. You may redeem that at the Welcome and Visitors table for one of Reverend Dr. David Ault's talks, especially selected for you. We're going to be doing new member orientation actually on the 12th. We're pushing that back a week because we've got a lot going on Easter Sunday. So the 12th of April, we'd love to see you for new member orientation. If you could take this opportunity to shut off any cell phones, I'd be grateful and appreciative. Thanks so much. Have a great day and a blessed week.
I invite you to stand with your programs. On the inside is called our Declaration of Principle. This is something that we do every week, where we look at our core values behind our particular philosophy, and we speak them with great intention. And so I invite you to speak them today with a renewed sense of purpose and commitment together. I believe in one God, one absolute power and first cause to all things. I believe that this power is perfect love, and it creates out of a desire to express love. I believe that all thought is creative, and how I choose to think creates my personal experience. I believe in the unity of all life and the immortality of the individual soul forever unfolding. I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of God to all. Remain standing. Our song this month is on the handout. Let Love Reign.
Let love reign. Let love reign. Let love reign. Let love reign. Let it rain all over your life. Let it rain and back to yourself. Let it reach out farther than eyes can see. Let it be
to those around you and greet them and say good morning and welcome to Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. Excellent. Did you make a new friend? Turn to the person next to you and say, my God, you're good looking. Now did you make a new friend? Oh my gosh. We are in the next to the last Sunday, believe it or not, for what is termed our season for peace and nonviolence. If you look on the walls, what you'll see are some banners that have been made by our teen department over the years. These are varying years that represent these particular seasons for peace and nonviolence. Next Sunday, they will be unveiling that banner for 2015. And it's one of my favorite things to participate in this season, which reflects the lifestyle, the intention, and the consciousness of two amazing individuals whose memorials bookend this particular season, that being Gandhi and Martin Luther King. And it's a call for us to not look at them as people that are an exception, but they are an example. An example. And when it's an example, then it's a call for you and I to take seriously in personal inquiry, where do I fit in with this? How do I become an example of peace and nonviolence? And so I'm in awe every year when we involve our youth department and our teens, and today is no exception. I want you to get to see the beautiful consciousness of Gianna Holloway. You want to come on up?
Peace and nonviolence. Peace is when people can be comfortable within themselves, so comfortable that they don't feel the need to pick on others. I am 10, and since I have been in the 4th grade, girls at school have started to pick on me because of the complexion of my skin and the length of my hair. It hurts my feelings. My mom and my dad say that this happens because of an insecurity that has been carried by some for hundreds of years. They say that it has nothing to do with me, but the same girls threaten to jump me. My parents and the school have my back, but who has their back? Who is teaching them to be comfortable in their skin and at peace with themselves? All I can do for them is be an example of peace. Thank you.
Take it in. Look, they're all clapping for you. Wow. So will you do us the honors? I know this is kind of tall, but we light this candle in representation of our intent to be the light of peace, to be the example of nonviolence, and to offer up a lifestyle of consciousness, which you do so beautifully. Thank you so much for your life. Thank you. Ooh, I invite you to channel all of that divine energy in right now. Perhaps get comfortable in your chair. I even invite you to take everything off of your lap. There's a wonderful intention that happens viscerally inside of us when we open ourselves up to receive a gift. And today, indeed, we do receive a gift as we are led in our affirmative prayer by our practitioner, Shasta Bridges.
Thank you. And Candace, thank you. What a treat it's been to be a part of the youth. Pardon me. I do this occasionally. It will pass. We learn so much. And truly, the youth is one of our greatest teachers. Thank you, Candace. So I invite you to take a big breath. And know this truth with me. I'm going to be speaking these words in first person. Please take them as your own. I know that I am surrounded, supported, and always connected with a divine intelligence that has everything in right and perfect order. And my life and I am part of this great order. And I know that every step I take is a sacred step, whether in the moment I realize it or not. I know that my life is constantly supported by this love of divine energy, whether I realize it or not. And I make this claim today that everything that I see in my life is a gift and a way for me to become more peaceful, more loving, more joyful, more giving, and happier than I've ever been. I know that I am surrounded by a community that loves me and nourishes me. And I know I am a gift to all that is around me. I make this claim today. I let go of anything that may stand in my way of my complete authentic self. I am so grateful for this truth. I am so grateful for the love that surrounds me. I am so grateful for this community. And I'm so grateful for the knowing that all is in divine order, all is good, and all is love. And I release these words into law, knowing it is so in my life. And we say together, and so it is.
With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. As I open and allow, I know right here and now, I create a world where wonders never cease. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me.
Please welcome Chike Freeman to introduce our musical guest.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you again for your participation in the Nonviolence and Peace time. Your spirit is old and vast, so please recognize the power that you have and the compassion that you've showed. So on to our musical guest. He is a massage therapist, energy healer, metaphysical jewelry maker, graphic design artist, and photographer. We learned today that he's been with our community for 1.5 years, and a lot of his performances, if not the majority of his performances, have been done free of charge and given with love. So thank you for recognizing his talents by visiting his booth after service. Also, if you'd like to go to his website, it's ygw.guru. And from Dr. David Ault, brief. He described Yoshi as, "It is rare to experience an artist whose talent and personal sense of awareness are equally rooted in humble brilliance." Please welcome to the stage, Yoshi Roberts.
Thank you, Chike. It is always a pleasure to be here, and anytime I am invited, I'll be here. This next song is called Everything We Need, and it's just a reminder that all we have to do is stop and breathe and remember that what we need is all around us.
Wouldn't it be nice to live in harmony? Wouldn't it be freeing to fulfill our needs? Wouldn't it be lovely to succeed with our dreams? Yeah. Wouldn't it be better to create the change? Wouldn't we all gain if we endured the strain? Nothing's really stopping that from happening, no. 'Cause the fire's raging, the river's roaring. We've got everything we need. Yeah, we've got everything we need. Yeah, the fire's raging, the river's roaring. But we've got everything we need. Yeah, we've got everything we need. Wouldn't it be nice to live in harmony? Wouldn't it be freeing to fulfill our needs? Wouldn't it be lovely to succeed with our dreams? Yeah. Wouldn't it be better to create the change? Wouldn't we all gain if we endure the strain? But nothing's really stopping that from happening, Lord. 'Cause the fire's raging, the river's roaring, and we've got everything we need. Yeah, we've got everything we need. The fire's raging, the river's roaring, we've got everything we need. Yeah, we've got everything we need. Wouldn't it be nice to live in harmony? Wouldn't it be freeing to fulfill our needs? Wouldn't it be lovely to succeed with our dreams? Yeah. Wouldn't it be better to create the change? Wouldn't we all gain if we endure the strain? When nothing's really stopping that from happening. Nothing's really stopping that from happening. No.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yoshi. And I do want you to know that I've noticed over this last year and a half how every single time you were asked to come, whether it was a Wednesday night, it didn't matter how many people were there, you showed up, and you showed up fully present with a servant's heart. And I just want to thank you. Thank you for doing that repeatedly, over and over and over again. So it's rainy outside and it's dark in here, so settle in. I'm going to tell you a story. Everybody got their little blankie? All right. So there was this Japanese monk who had been living in a hermitage for about 3 years. The hermitage was away from the rest of the civilization. It was separated by a canal of water. And so after 3 years and in all of his work, he wanted to get enlightenment out of the way early on in his life because he had other things to attend to. And so when the monastery attendant who would arrive across the canal water and bring supplies every week came, he made a request to this attendant. And he said, I would like you to bring me the next time you come the finest parchment paper that you have. I want you to bring me a quill. I want you to bring me some ink because I have an important letter, an important note to send to the abbot. So he waited, and then the next week, the attendant brought all of his supplies, and this Japanese monk sat down and he composed this: the conscientious young monk, meditating 3 years alone, can no longer be moved by the four worldly winds. The conscientious young monk, meditating 3 years alone, can no longer be moved by the four worldly winds. And surely, he thought, his wise old abbot would see in these words and in the care by which they were written that his discipleship would now be deemed enlightened. And he gently took this parchment paper and he rolled it up very carefully. He took a meticulous cut piece of twine and he wrapped it around it. And he handed this parchment over to the monastery attendant as he sailed away to the rest of civilization, we'll call it. And it was his instruction to give it to the abbot, and which he did. And this young Japanese monk was beside himself in anticipation for what would be the answer. He was unable to sleep well that week because he began to fantasize in his mind about what the abbot would do, about he would be deemed worthy, and what that enlightenment would bring to his life and the quality by which people would look at him and revere him. And he was in this amazing anticipation. And so the attendant returned. And he returned with the same piece of parchment, but it had a different bow on it. So it indicated that the abbot had indeed read it. And he tenderly handed it over to the young Japanese monk who, with trembling fingers in anticipation, opened it up. And what he saw was his original calligraphy, those 4 lines that he had written. The first line, the conscientious young monk. And right next to that first line, in this red blotted ink, was the word fart. The next line, meditating 3 years alone. Again, next to that line, in sloppy red ink, was the word fart. In the third line, can no longer be moved. Again, the word fart. Oh, how dare you say that on a Sunday in a place of such sacredness. The fourth line, by the 4 worldly winds, was written the word fart. The Japanese monk stood there, his hands trembling, and he was incensed. And this rage began to percolate in his gut, and he screamed out, "This is too much. Not only is this decrepit old abbot so stupid that he cannot recognize enlightenment when it's right in front of his fat nose, but he's so uncouth and so uncivilized that he has vandalized a work of art with senseless graffiti." The abbot was behaving like a punk instead of a monk. And it is an insult. It is an insult to art, to tradition, and to truth. And the young monk could not get off of it. He was enraged, so much so that he waited for the boat that would take him away from the monastery, from the hermitage, to where the abbot resided. Granted, this was his first time to leave in 3 years. And as they sailed across the waterway, he was practicing what he was going to say to this abbot. He was going to just spew all of this. And so when he got there, he slammed that piece of parchment down in front of the abbot. And he said, "How dare you? Explain yourself." And the abbot picked up the parchment, and he very delicately unrolled it, and he read it again out loud. The conscientious young monk, meditating 3 years alone, can no longer be moved by the 4 worldly winds. And he put down the parchment, and he stared at the young monk, and he said, "So, young monk, you are no longer moved by the 4 worldly winds, but 4 little farts have blown you across the lake." I have no idea what that has to do with the theme today. I just thought it was a good story. So. You ever noticed or thought you've arrived? I've arrived. Nothing bothers me except those little farts of indignation, of projection, of the things that are accusatory, or of old fears that continue to crop up at that precise point when we think that we're done with them. And I want to invite you to examine the fact that when you live a life out loud, by living a life out loud, it means that you showcase your spirituality, your decision-making, your consciousness in the way in which you speak, in the way in which you show up, in the way in which you behave and respond to life. You are living out loud. You are showcasing those things to the world. And those things are constant opportunities for us, not to necessarily humiliate us, but to leave us in a state of sacred humbling where we realize that this journey is never over. This unveiling of consciousness has no finish line because the wholeness of our eternal self is something so boundless and so beyond description that we will never arrive, but we are asked to enjoy the journey nonetheless and to take the journey. And so I was thinking in reading a lot this week about monks and Thomas Merton in particular. I don't know if you know who Thomas Merton is, but he was very popular in the 1940s and 50s. He wrote a book called The Seven-Story Mountain, which is said to have attributed to a mass exodus of people after World War II running to monasteries to hide out because he told his life story. But Thomas Merton wrote there that there is in all visible things an invisible fecundity, which means regeneration or rebirth or fertility. There is this constant regeneration and rebirth of fertility, a hidden wholeness. There is in all visible things an invisible fertility, a constant growth, a hidden wholeness. He went on to say that we carry within us this undeniable hidden wholeness. It's a deep and a luminous spout of inexhaustible purity. And you see, that's the thing where if I were to tell you that if you keep at this, you will arrive at the finish line of uncovering your hidden wholeness. I can't do that. What I can tell you is you will have glimpses of it. You will have experiences, you will have ahas, you will have insight into that. But your wholeness is so vast, is so boundless and unlimited that you are asked to run down that path of your journey towards it, leaving behind all indications of external needs of approval and others' opinions and any self-degradation that you have picked up along the way. You are to run towards the adventure of that wholeness, realizing you will never stop, but oh my God, the vastness of the experience that will bring to you and I. And this example of hidden wholeness is all pervasive throughout ancient wisdom, throughout all of the great philosophers and sages. In fact, Jesus said it this way. He said, "You are the light of the world." And you know, when he was giving those little talks, he was talking to masses of uneducated people, just everyday laymen. He would be standing on the side of these hills and he would say such things to them, things that those people had never heard before, and he would tell them that you are the light of the world. He would speak in metaphor in such a way that he would try to offer them examples to begin to see what his consciousness was wanting to reveal to theirs. But to say that you are the light of the world, that's not something to earn, that you are a vital child of creation, that you were born of dust and spirit, and you are the light of the world, and you carry within you this spark of divine fire. And that was his message. The Buddha also taught that we have within us this very wholeness, what he called an innate and a natural perfection. The God of the Hebrews declared that the most essential truths of life and spirit are inscribed upon our very hearts. The prophet Elisha demonstrated that we carry an intuitive inner knowing, a still small voice of the divine in the quiet recesses of our soul. Native Americans speak of the same manifestation of the Great Spirit who infuses all beings with this same vitality, this sacred life force. And the Hindus, they refer to the Atman, or the soul of the world is everywhere, in all things and in all beings. Common theme. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, one of my favorite passages in the very beginning of The Science of Mind, wrote that this original life is infinite. It's good, it's pure. It is the essence of that purity. It is the ultimate of intelligence. It is power, it is law, it is life, it is in us. And then he said, in the inner sanctuary of our own being, hidden perhaps from our objective gaze, lies the seed, perfection. Every single one of them saying the same thing. That what it is that you crave for and what it is that you are designed to experience is not out there. It's not in the next great trend. It's not in another person. It's not from the validation that you might seek from a collective of individuals or a business or the praises of the world. It's not out there. It's where? It's inside. And I often think, oh my God, how many times have we heard this? How many times have we heard that everything that we need is inside of us, and yet it just doesn't seem to sink in enough to begin to adjust and moderate and shift and change our consciousness and our behavior. But it is this hidden wholeness. And so we go along this path towards this, trying to find ourselves. You know, our reason for being is to uncover consciousness. Our reason for being is the uncovering of consciousness. Consciousness meaning self-awareness, to become self-aware of the fact that we are possessing this hidden wholeness. How do I then put myself in the positioning of being able to access that hidden wholeness? Just like anything else. If there's something that I want, there's a barrier between what I want, I must do what with the barrier? I must either go around or over or remove it. And so the barriers in consciousness then that stand in the way of you and I beginning to have glimpses and experiences of the hidden perfection, the seed within us that Ernest Holmes described. That connection that cannot be severed. That birthright which is ours, whether we pick it up and use it or not, is there. And so our life is a life of uncovering consciousness, a quest of uncovering something that is already within us, thus the paradox of the journey itself, the hidden wholeness. But in order for us to get to that which is in us, we have to travel. Even though it's with us, we still have to travel, because as we're traveling, what's happening? We're having experiences. You see, we get to embrace our humanness because as we travel this road of experience and as we stumble and as we fail, those become the things where we get to define, oh, that's a barrier. Okay, what do I do with this barrier? If the barrier's never there and it's done for us, then you and I never really get to have the experience of uncovering. And so ours is a job of uncovering those barriers, of blessing those barriers, of being able to see them and instead of curse them, actually praise them and go, yay, barrier. You know, to be able to have someone like a great mystic like Dolly Parton who used to say, get off the cross, somebody else needs the wood, you know, for us to be able to hear those kinds of things and to realize that when we stay in our pain and when we stay in the story and we just hang there, then we're not really moving to that place of uncovering that which is wanting to have its way in us and to express through us. And so as we continue to go, I remind you that there is not a finality to that destination. We don't round a bend and there's a big sign that says, wholeness, you're here. But it's like there are spiritual cosmic breadcrumbs. There are golden nuggets that lead us and lead us and lead us further and further into the embodiment of that. And so as we continue on this journey, we begin to see that there are varying uses of consciousness. There are those moments when you and I are so fully present. And in that moment of full presence, in that moment of surrender, whether it be stillness or whether it be practice concentration, there is that awareness of wholeness. There is the awareness of that information that wants to come through. Then there's a great portion of our lives where we are semi-conscious, where we are kind of physically there, but we're not there mentally. And I compare it to, can you imagine if you were a trapeze artist and you worked for Cirque du Soleil and you were standing way up there on the thing and you're waiting. You're probably not thinking about your grocery list. You are what? You are so fully intended in that thing coming to you and so fully ready to grab onto that, and you know that it's coming. You see, the same is with life. The next lesson of opportunity, the next availability, the next gift of that which is the richness of spirit is swinging its way to us. But sometimes we're standing on that platform and we're not conscious to it because we're thinking of other things. You know, I can ride a bicycle. At one time, it took great skill and full attention for me to stay balanced. And now that I've done it over time, I can ride a bicycle unconsciously. I can move great masses of steel on 4 wheels unconsciously. But there was a time when I was so petrified and so intent upon getting it right that I had to be fully present. And you see, what happens is the more years that we add to this experience, are they more years that are finely tuned in that anticipatory conscious self-awareness? Or are they more years added to, oh, I'm just doing this and I'm not really here? I'm sort of wafting with the winds of whatever wants to blow and fart my way. And so as I began to see the difference in that, I realized then that there's a responsibility that comes with me on my journey of my spiritual archaeology of uncovering my wholeness. You see, it's my responsibility to walk into the seeming chaos so that I can meet that chaos and have that transfiguration and realize that divine order and perfect patterning have always been there. It's the call of you and I. It's not about retreating and running away from it. It's about walking into it with the assurance that as I walk into it, I take what with me because it's always been with me? My wholeness. Wherever you show up, you take with you exactly what you need, but I'm just not sometimes fully aware of that. And so as we begin to ponder this, we start to see the habits, the collective habits of race consciousness that we participate in. And I think one of the most amazing sentences that I ever heard was uttered by Michael Beckwith from Agape in Los Angeles. And he said, pain pushes till the vision pulls. Pain pushes till the vision pulls. And when I reveled in the beauty of that statement, and I thought about what he meant, it was the understanding that as a species, as humans, when we are moving towards a greater expression of wholeness, there are those individuals, there are those trailblazers who are willing to not abide in the pain anymore and do whatever it takes to cross over into that tipping point of vision. For example, when you think about the suffragist movement and you think about all of those women who became tired of the pain of inequality, who knew of their value, who knew of their worth, and so they set forth on a course of action, not really understanding and knowing what the end in mind would actually be, but they knew that they could no longer stand quiet in this subservient energy that looked upon them as less than. And so as they began to move forward, as they were beaten, as they were mocked, as they were ridiculed, as they met up with one obstruction over the other, the thing that kept them going was not the pain, but the thing that kept them going was what? The vision pulling them through. Here's what's so amazing to me about that is those initial women did not have the experience of being able to vote in their lifetime. But they set into motion what? The course of action then that led it to be the standard mode by which at least our country observes that. We can look at the story of the abolitionist and we can see the same thing. We can look at the equality issues that face us today with gender equality and marriage equality and all of the things that are a part of the collective of just equality across the board that will not reside in the energy of pain, but at some point, if enough people participate, will cross that tipping point into the place where vision begins to pull them. And I ask you, what side of that are you on? Because you see you're at choice. To stay on the side of pain, then, is to stand in the ignorance of the fact that you possess within you a hidden wholeness. Here's a clue. Equality will see the light because we live in a self-regulating universe, and I know that to be true. I must abide in the truth of that, because if I say that it's all God, then the equality of God, the union that is God, the perfect patterning of God must present itself. It must present itself. And even though we as a species, again, might want to cover that with pain, each time it's like the phoenix rising, wanting to come above that. And so I know that these things take place. However, I will not wait for them to take place. I will not wait for them to take place. I will do what? I will own my equality now. I will not act as an equal when it's mandated outside of me, but I will begin to live from that place, so much so I don't need another person to tell me that, but I will begin to live from that essence and that energy and that purity. You know why? Because what I'm doing is I'm uncovering my hidden wholeness. How many of us are waiting until out there says it's okay? Your hidden wholeness is saying, why wait? Why wait? Your wholeness wants to see the light of day to day in this moment. Act like it. If you want to be considered an equal, act like an equal. If you want to be respected for your gifts and talents, then respect your own gifts and talents. If you want to be seen and heard, then see yourself and hear yourself. And recognize the story am I telling, is it a story of pain or is it a story of vision? Because just as it is in the collective, the pain in you is pushing you until you and I have the wherewithal and the self-awareness, the unveiling of consciousness to get on the side of the vision that wants to pull you. The beauty is it has no time frame. It knows nothing of what you've done in the past. It doesn't care what you do for a living. It doesn't care how many times you tried to cross the fence over to vision and then got straddled and ouch, and you went back to the land of pain. It doesn't matter how many botched times you've tried it. The vision will continue to pull you. And I say, go with the path of least resistance. Let your vision pull you. Let it pull you towards that which is your wholeness. Let it see you there. And so the question for this morning is, what will it take for you and I to become aware that what rests inside of us is our hidden wholeness? How much pain will it take before you take that deep inhale and let that pain exhale so that you begin to stand in the integrity and the honor of who and what you are? One of the things that Thomas Merton said that really stood out to me this week was, he says, if you want to identify me, ask me not where I live or what I like to eat or how I comb my hair, but ask me what I am living for in detail. Ask me what I'm living for in detail. Ask me what I think is keeping me from living fully for the thing that I want to live for. Talk about depth conversation. Don't ask me surface things. Ask me depth questions. Why am I here? And what is it about being here? And what are the things, the obstacles that you still see in the way on that path to uncovering your hidden wholeness? Where do you stumble and fall? What lessons have you learned from stumbling and falling? What lessons have you gleaned about the eternality and the spirituality and the gift that you are? I want to hear those things. I want to hear those stories. Because you see, that's the kind of depth that is calling you and I. There is this geological term, I don't know if I can say it right, I think it's called isostasy. Isostasy is a term given when the Earth's crust regulates, meaning that if something, there's a tendency for something to rise once something that has been pushing it down is removed. And so what you see is there's this sort of self-regulation that exists on the Earth's crust between the Earth itself, the rocks, and the mountains. And there's this balance that exists across the planet. And this thing called isostasy is that it's there whenever a pressure or obstacle is removed or worn away. So it's this perpetual self-regulation. And I thought, well, it may be a geological term, but it also applies to you and me. When something that is pressuring us is removed away, we rise back up again. There is a self-regulation. But what I want to remind you is stop waiting for something else to come and take the pressure away. Ain't gonna happen. The pressure is what? The pressure is the false ideal. The pressure is the devotion to the pain. The pressure is wanting the abbot or somebody else to look and see how special we are, rather than getting those lessons for ourselves. And when we begin to remove systematically those things, there is this self-regulatory process whereby we rise and we create this balance and this harmony of owning the truth of who we are. And every single week, in every situation, gives us the ability to know that wholeness is there. So what is wholeness? What is wholeness? Wholeness is the complete absorption of the qualities of intelligence. The complete absorption of the qualities of the divine. The complete absorption of everything that makes up that which is the beloved. Of that which is the divine intelligence that created worlds. All of that which is encapsulated in this idea of wholeness is inside of you, waiting for recognition. Sometimes we go there when we're in crisis mode. I want you to start going there every day. I want you to be in conversation with your wholeness. I want you to realize that there is no things out there that can separate you from that wholeness. And yet, as we travel down their path, there are a lot of things that come to us, not because we've been bad, not because we ain't doing it right. It's because in this curriculum of life, we are given the opportunity to go through those things and to stay steadfast and focus on the wholeness. It's why we come together. It's why we do what we do. It's why we repeatedly talk about the idea of spiritual practice. It's why every single sage, from Thomas Merton to Jesus, the Buddha, the God of the Hebrews, Elijah, Native Americans, Hindus, Ernest Holmes, your cousin Myrtle, whoever it was, every single one of them, somebody has been trying to get a message to you about honoring the sacredness of the wholeness that is inside of you. So I ask you this morning, what will that look like? What will that look like? How is your pain, everybody's got it, how will your individual pain override the collective pain so that you can begin to pay attention to the fact that as you stand on the platform of what's next, the vision is swinging out for you to be able to grab hold of that and pull you and thrust you into a grand and greater sense of aliveness. It's swinging every day. But are we paying attention? Or are we too committed to what was? And so do a little experiment with me. Close your eyes, take a breath. You have a question. Come up with a question that you want an answer for. As you luxuriate in this stillness, as you put your feet flat on the floor and you let that breath permeate through your body, ask a question of your wholeness. It's inside of you. Just ask the question and wait to hear something. And take a deep breath. Whatever it was that you got, don't second guess it. Don't micromanage it. Don't pick it apart. But know that it is an instinctual conversation that is wanting to be had within your eternal being. It is your wholeness wanting to guide you into greater application of the truth of who you are. For those of you who think you can't meditate, you just did for about 35 seconds. That's all you need. All you need is just a little shred of willingness. And then you prolong that for another 35 seconds. And then you prolong that for a minute. You work your way up to 5 minutes. And you sit. And what happens is you become accustomed to listening to the answer that is already inside of you. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you. I reach out to those individuals in our collective all the time to share their inspiration with you. And this is, she requested to do this. How brave of her. So Joy Goodman, come on up. And then here is our affirmation.
Thank you. So my vision is to express myself fully, joyfully, and completely. And I knew if I sat one more week in my chair, worrying that you would call me up, that, that I would continue to stay in a box of borders. And I grew up in a family where generations were exposed to war in Poland. And so my ancestors came over under great duress, great fear, and not trusting people, not feeling safe. I was exposed to that in utero. I was exposed to that in childhood, and it was deeply planted in me growing up. So when my own daughter was born, my soul spoke out loud to me one day and said, Joy, you've got to heal everything that's been passed on to you from the generations. Just do it. And I remember making the commitment, I'll do whatever it takes as long as I have to. And I'm still in that journey 30 years later. So how do I move past the fear that was implanted in me? Well, my gosh, the Spiritual Living Center has given me the most incredible gift to take this journey into wholeness. November 2012, at the annual one-time gala affair, Triumph, where the biggest prize was 7 days in a Tuscan villa. I showed up, and Reverend Dave, at the end of the evening, he pulled the name, the winning name, and he looked over at my half of the room, and he looked beyond and he said, oh, I'm so glad that they are here, meaning a couple, because I know that they're here and I'm glad I can give it to them, but it's really her that I love. Well, at that point, I lost interest, so I took my program and I'm looking in my lap and I'm just reading about things. In a far-off land, I swear I heard the name Joy Goodman, but it didn't compute. So I'm still reading. And then my table of people started pounding on my back. And they said, Joy, get up there, go. I said, why? They said, you won. I said, are you sure I won? Joy, I'm sure. And I sat there for probably 30 seconds doubting. So finally I made it up to you, and you started laughing at me because my eyes were like pinholes. I was not in my body. The awareness that I had won something so grand was in me, obviously at an unconscious level, but it was more than I could take in. Okay, so somebody who's afraid of trusting, traveling, going places because it's not safe, how do I get there? Well, 18 months of, I'm telling you, working the fear, working it. Every time I would go, I can't do this. Well, invite friends. I don't know who to invite. There are too many people to invite. And then over and over, I began to hear that still small voice say, Joy, you've got to do this alone. You've got to go solo. And I said, no, I can't do it. I can't do this. Joy, you've got to. And finally, one day, in the presence of a beloved healer, friend, guide, I said, do you really think I can do this? And I spoke like I was 10 years old. Do you really think I have it? And she said, Joy, I know you do. So right then and there, I raise my hands with her in the air, palm to palm, and I say, in the presence of God, I, Joy Goodman, promise to take this trip solo. And since that time, amazing things have happened. I jumped off that cliff of fear. I am soaring. And every time I get that knot of fear in my stomach, I focus on the goal. And the goal is to go to Italy and love every minute of it. And when you get afraid, just know that's that little block, and you just move around it. And I know that my ancestors are going with me on this journey, because anytime we heal something in ourselves, we heal 7 generations back. Yes, 7. And the good part is all of you that said you felt jealous because you didn't win that night, and you wanted me to take you, well, guess what? If we're all one, then you are going with me on this journey. Every bit of the way, and every step I make in freeing myself. Freedom is that's my goal. Freedom and love and expression. You are with me. Every part that I heals a part in you. So thank you, Mr. Kilimanjaro, for giving me an example to follow, because this journey is like that for me. I've been in training for 18 months and feeling fear, at times embarrassed to tell people, are you excited, Joy? Well, I'm still dealing with the fear. But that time is now, because 31 days from now, I will be flying, you're not gonna believe this one, first class. You're not gonna believe it. First class, because 2 people told me to book the reservation 10 months ago and to check companion flights. So back then it was 125 frequent flyer points for first class. A friend looked it up a few days ago. That same flight, guess how much? $9,000. So talk about infinite abundance. Giving and receiving, the full cycle. As I joyfully give, so do I joyfully receive. I am so grateful for the Spiritual Living Center. I'm grateful for all of you. I see the beloved in each one of you, and we're doing this together. Now you may clap. So with great emphasis and great expression in your voice, this is my 30 years of being a teacher, I'd like you to join me in this grateful abundance prayer, like you really meant it, because Look, we've won already. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow. And all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
Yay, Joy Goodman. Please welcome back Yoshi Roberts. Thank you so much, Joy.
Am I on here? Okay, cool. You're a tough act to follow. Really a perfect plug. We are one great heart, reflected by billions of people. And that's what this song is about. It's a brand new one. I hope y'all enjoy it.
By billions of people, we're one great heart, reflected by billions of people. Yeah, we're one great heart, reflected by billions of people. Yeah, we're one great heart. One heart so great can manifest in any way, and it's time to change the way we treat diversity and unite and make way, co-create and elevate this one great heart reflected by billions of people. Yeah. This one great heart reflected by billions of people. Yeah. Our one great heart reflected by billions of people. Yeah. Our one great heart. Be strong, be kind. We the people, we must unite. Be wise, share life, stay together and feel alive. Just be and let be, believe in humanity. In our one great heart, reflected by billions of people. Our one great heart, reflected by billions of people. One great heart, reflected by billions of people. Yeah. Oh, one great heart. Reflected by billions of people, sing with me. One great heart, reflected by billions of people, reflects me. One great heart, reflected by billions of people, yeah. One great heart. Oh. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Yoshi. So I ask you to do what you do best, and that is to support him and to love him and to give him and honor him for his gifts and talents and all the times that you've shown up. Thank you so much. Remain standing. If our practitioners come forward right now, they are here to offer you affirmative prayer, and that affirmative prayer is designed to offer you the chance to glimpse a greater degree of that wholeness. Will you allow them to do what it is that they are here to do? Let them offer that gift to you as we sing our closing song together.
Have a great weekend, everybody.